If someone were to ask me what my favorite part about living a life so stressful that it's led to not one, but two PTSD diagnoses, I would have to say it would be the hair loss, because there's nothing else like being kicked when you're down and something else to ruminate over. I don't think a lot of people realize that chronic stress or even one traumatic event can cause hair loss. So I thought we would talk about it while I do my scalp massage. So this is night one, so I can't tell you if this works or not. And here's a quick scalp massager lesson based on my limited research of about 30 minutes. So apparently if you're trying to stimulate hair growth, you want to do it on dry hair and not wet hair. A lot of people use these in the shower, but your hair is very delicate if it is wet and it can break off at the end. So you want to do it when it's dry, supposedly, and go in very, very tiny circles around your head. And the reason that massaging your scalp can help with hair growth is that it dilates the blood vessels right underneath your scalp, and it can also thicken your hair by stretching the cells of your hair follicles. So back to the hair loss and stress situation. So yes, stress can make your hair fall out, and the extra fun thing is that your hair doesn't fall out right away. It takes a couple of months, usually like 2 to 4 months. The first time this happened to me, it took 3 months, and I had no idea what was going on, and clumps would come out in the shower, and then when I'd put a ponytail in, my ponytail kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and I was very concerned. But let's talk about what happens biologically. So if a bear were to walk up to me, well, I like bears. Okay, if a Karen were to walk up to me, that would activate my sympathetic nervous system. So if you're out in the wild and Karen approaches you, you go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and the blood that would be helping you digest food or grow your luscious mane has to go to your muscles so you can flee from the Karen. Now, if you're on this app, I'm guessing you've seen at least one Karen interaction in the wild. So imagine if Karen badgers you day after day after day after day after day. That's what I'm going through. And so my sympathetic nervous system is, and it won't stop. I'm in constant fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Actually, I'm in freeze, and I feel catatonic most of the time. This all can lead to dangerously high cortisol levels, which is what happened in my case. And this type of stress can actually change the structure of your brain. Yes, your amygdala, which is usually the size of a walnut, can become enlarged. And obviously, I don't know if my amygdala is enlarged. It probably is. It can shrink back down, but it takes time. And fun fact, a psychopath actually has a smaller amygdala than most people. So yes, Karens actually are a health hazard. So I recently realized my hair was falling out again. I was losing hair in the shower, and then oddly enough, when you make TikToks, you have to stare at yourself, and it's so cringy. And I noticed I was thinning like a little bit here and needed to address it immediately. The good news is that your hair grows back on its own most of the time, especially if it's just a one-time traumatic event. So let's say you are on an airplane, sitting there waiting to see who is going to sit next to you because you had the middle seat, and here comes Ron DeSantis and Ted Cruz. That would be a traumatic event, and your hair might fall out in 3 months, but then it would probably grow back on its own. But a lot of us aren't that lucky, and we have a Karen chasing us around on the daily and have to resort to other measures. So let me walk you through what those are. And this is not medical advice. This is just what I am doing. And if you're going through this, talk to your own doctor or therapist. The first thing I do is go to therapy, and I'm doing EMDR. So if anyone has any questions about EMDR, let me know. It's very interesting, and it seems to be helping. For the hair loss, I showed you the scalp massager, and I'm also starting Nutrafol vitamins. I've been taking them for about 2 weeks, so the jury's still out on those. And did you know that your scalp actually has a microbiome? Yeah, I didn't know that until recently, so I've been better about taking my probiotic. I've also drastically decreased the number of times I wash my hair per week. So used to wash it 2 to 3 times, now once, maybe twice per week. Yes, I still shower, obviously. I use a wide tooth comb because it doesn't do as much damage to your hair. And I'm trying to limit my use of elastics or use more of a scrunchie. Like today, I just needed to have my hair thrown up and couldn't help myself. Lastly, my doctor recently started me on propranolol, which is a beta blocker usually used to treat high blood pressure or something like atrial fibrillation. Now, do I have high blood pressure? No, I actually have low blood pressure, so I was a little concerned when starting to take it. But basically, my body has been in fight or flight for the last few years, and my body thinks that there's a Karen in front of me at all times, and I can't stop the response. So a beta blocker can actually block the fight or flight response. I guess it's commonly prescribed for people with anxiety, PTSD, or people who have a fear of public speaking, believe it or not. I've been taking it for about 2 weeks now, and I will have to say I can definitely tell a difference and feel like I'm not catatonic for the first time in a long time. So although I'm all too aware that my stressful life situation won't be changing anytime soon, hopefully the combo of the beta blocker, hair supplements, probiotic, scalp massager, hair care routine, EMDR, and therapy will keep me from going completely bald anytime soon.